Yo, welcome back to Warehouse Reacts, where today we have the fifth track on Avenged Sevenfold's Life is But a Dream album, called Cosmic. Now, I've taken about a week away from listening to this album, or further listening from this album. I have re-listened to the first four tracks a considerable amount of times, but I took a little bit of time away, just some real life stuff got in the way, but now we're back. And now we have Cosmic, which is kind of the most, it's the longest track on the album for one, and it's also kind of the most, the one I've heard the most about, let's say, in terms of what people think about it, what kind of song it is. I kind of get the feeling it's a bit more of a ballady type song, but I guess we'll jump straight in. But yeah, this is Cosmic. As I say, my other reactions to the first four tracks on this album are out on the channel, so have a look at them to see my opinions up to this point. But anyway, yeah, here's Cosmic by Avenged Sevenfold. Here we go.
From all there was before, we shut another door.
Interesting guitar tone.
Is taken once again.
Very strange effects.
God will never win. And time again we try. Left alone, I can't wait too long. Fate.
Like a powering down kind of noise.
We love so many times and in so many lives. Sometimes we got it right. Pain, it found its way back in until we meet again into that good night. None too far as we chase through the stars beyond forever. I'll follow you.
Where we going? Got like an Iron Maiden segment going on. Really reverby snare there. Very Avenged sounding, which is a change from the rest of the album thus far. From their usual sound, I mean, of course. Nice. Whoa. Okay, pause. Let me just go back and feel that subwoofer piano kind of drop, whatever happened there. I think a few things. I mean, I don't think I've really said it on this album thus far that much anyway. I haven't, harped upon it as much as I probably should have, but Matt's voice sounds really, really good. I think a lot of criticism came at the kind of the time of the stage when the stage came out, because his voice kind of sounded a bit more, when he pushed up higher, when he was belting kind of higher up, it sounds very different to how he used to do it. And I think obviously I know that he's had that like vocal surgery, had some fold removed or something removed in his neck, some vein removed or something. There's a story behind it. I'm not entirely too clued in on it, but I think his voice has got a lot of kind of flack, like I say, especially during the kind of stage era. But it sounds, really, really good. It really does. The None Too Far As We Chase Through the Stars Beyond Forever, that kind of building part was really, it was really good. It was really nice. And then we had this kind of, extended kind of solo section. I guess you'd maybe call it it was less of a solo section, more just a kind of just an instrumental section, I guess, for a good sort of, minute and a half, 2 minutes or whatever it was. I feel like, I get the feeling the song hasn't really started yet, if you know what I mean, in the best way possible. There's a lot has kind of gone on so far, and yet I still don't feel as if we've gotten to the kind of sort of ground level of where the song is. But obviously, I presume with this piano now coming in and it slowing down and it going to a different section, that's where we'll go. So let's bring that back slightly, and here we go. Lots of sweeping. And Brooks is insane, obviously. It goes without saying. Smacks you in the face. Obviously, Brooks sounds good, but the drums themselves also sound really good.
Dancing in the wind, his rose is born again. There you'll find me before the dawn of man. In castles made of sand. There you'll find me riding in the caves. It's fire lights the way.
Some more brass, it sounds like. Over here.
Mask of royal glow, dawn in Pharaoh's clothes. There you'll find me. Let it go. Rings of dust and ice, weightless in the night. There you'll find me. Let it go.
Okay, hang on. I was going to say it's a kind of welcome change from the Abeyance of a Ghost and Catacomb. No, it's a welcome change that we've got a sort of slower, kind of more melodic, simpler, not simpler because it's really not, simple to kind of write a song like this. I fully understand, but the kind of it's a lot easier to digest this kind of song than the first 4 songs of the album, I think, in my opinion at least anyway. And so, like I say, it's a kind of it's a nice palate cleanser, and that probably does it a disservice, but you know what I mean. I'm not just calling this song a palate cleanser, but it's a good kind of break from the first 4 kind of insane songs that are just kind of all up and all over the place. But I still feel, through this kind of calm, melodic kind of piano-led kind of segment, you could still hear, I was pointing to my left ear, because you could still hear this kind of rising, building kind of dissonance, maybe perhaps not dissonance, perhaps like a sort of undertone to it, some sinister, maybe not sinister, there you go, pun not intended, I guess, but a kind of strange undertone to it that was building and building and building, and then obviously we jump into this kind of, I don't know what it was, like a sequencer, like a synth sequencer segment, where it's like doodle 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 or something. But anyway, we'll continue. This thing's really not off-putting, foreboding. I love the vocal melody, like, everywhere in the song. Melodies. Hard cut. And a weird, sequencer, synthy sequencer bit. For fans of Lost. Weird tom noises, like very high toms on that roll down. Nice belts at the end there from that. Some strings to end it. And we'll pause it just before it goes into Beautiful Morning. Yeah, I think, like I said, it's a kind of welcome change to have a slower, more melodic, melody-driven song rather than a kind of progressive jumping from segment to segment, even though this kind of, maintained that sort of quality where you did have random jumps from part to part. You had the kind of, initially when the piano came in, that was a big change from the start of the song. And then the whole like sequencer kind of bit at the end with the horns and the kind of auto-tune, Matt's auto-tune voice. As I said, for fans of Lost, the song Lost, not the TV show, obviously, from their self-titled album, the White Album. But yeah, I think, overall, I think this probably will turn out to be my favorite, I'd guess. It seems like one of the songs that you listen to and you kind of like on the first listen, but on subsequent listens, you like kind of bits, different bits every single time. And you listen specifically for those bits. And you listen to the song specifically for, the first verse, or specifically for the auto-tuned bit at the end, or specifically for the solo bit before the piano comes in, the instrumental part, And I think, over time, all of those bits will grow into kind of, I'm not just listening for that part now. Now I'm listening to the whole song, and it's amazing. This has to be a live favorite. That's what I would assume. This seems like a kind of end of set kind of thing where they play it at the end and that whole kind of last verse bit, everybody's just kind of belting it out. But I imagine it's a big anthem. It's a big anthem song, isn't it, really? I think on a first listen, this, along with Mattel, have been kind of my favorites so far. Like I said, I've listened to Game Over, Nobody, and We Love You, since obviously I listened to them the first time and have, really come to like those songs as well. But I feel like this song and Mattel, both on the first listen, have really kind of jumped out at me as being very enjoyable. And like I say, I can definitely see this becoming my favourite. But yeah, that was Cosmic by Avenged Sevenfold. And next time we are listening to Beautiful Morning, which is another kind of longish track, 6.5 minutes. I don't know what that, I don't know what it has in store, but I can't wait to listen to it. So thanks for watching, and join me next time.